Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, we are now officially into autumn. The clocks changed yesterday by 1 hour. All of my electronic gadgets changed the hour automatically, but a few of them didn't. So I'm just trying to manually change some of my clocks, especially the ones which are battery operated. When the clocks change, we refer to it as the clock's changing. Now, it's strange because it's the hour that changes, it's not the clock. If the clocks changed, perhaps they would be classed as metamorphs. They would change their shape. But that's not what we're saying here. We're saying the hour has changed. So clock change is a little bit misleading. So because our clocks have changed, I thought we could spend a moment going over some idioms with the word time. Now, of course, the most obvious one, which you've heard me using before, is time flies. Time flies. That's very common. And we use it just to say that time passes quickly, We sometimes refer to it when we think about the passing years. We go, "Ooh, time flies." Another one that is very common here in the UK is better late than never. And we often say that when something happens, but perhaps a little bit later than we expected. So if I receive news today that perhaps I should have had last week, I can simply say, well, at least I have the news now, better late than never. It's most commonly used that way. If you receive something in the post that's dated a few months ago, you can say, well, at least I have it now, better late than never. Some people also use this phrase to refer to something that they're about to do late. For example, if you haven't, let's say, if you haven't done something that you were planning to do, like the shopping, you choose to do it a few days late, you can say, well, better late than never. At least I'm doing it now. And that's the important thing. So those are two phrases about time. There's many of them. Another one is to turn back the hands of time. Now, I'm sure you all know that very famous Cher song, the song from Cher, If I Could Turn Back Time. But to turn back the hands of time is just a very poetic way of saying the same thing. If I could go back into the past, if I could go back into the past, I would turn back the hands of time and do something. Okay? So it's another way of saying to go back into the past. If I could turn back the hands of time, if I could turn back time, if I could go back into the past, it's all the same. To bide one's time is also very common. It means to wait patiently. And we usually use that before taking revenge on someone. So if someone hurts me, I'll simply say, okay, I'll bide my time. It means I'll wait. Then I will get my revenge. But I think in a more functional way, it's actually used to wait patiently for an opportunity to come up. Oh, I'll bide my time and then apply for a new job. But that's not the way many people use it. It's usually used to refer to some kind of revenge tactic. Time is a great healer. That's a common one as well. And that simply means that if you have suffered, something bad has happened to you, time helps you to forget. We often say it to people who've lost a loved one. someone who's died recently, we can say, never mind, time is a great healer. It means that time will heal your pain as it moves on. We forget about things. Oh, here's another song with this one. Have the time of your life. Now, who sang that? I've had the time of my life. That was a duet, wasn't it? Between two people, two black singers. I've had the time of my life. I can't remember who sang that, but you can guess it means to have an exceptionally fun or enjoyable experience. Time waits for no man. That's a good one as well. It means that, wow, time is always moving on. Time waits for no man. That's a good one. Time will tell. Now, that's one I use every other day. If I'm trying to work out a problem and I don't know who did something or when something is due, if I'm waiting for the truth or outcome of a situation, I can say, well, time will tell. So it means I'll just wait and see what happens. Time will give me the answer. Time will tell. So these are a few idioms all about time. And I hope you found these useful. Yeah, very good, very good. Now, speaking about time, that song, I've Had the Time of My Life, was by Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes. I don't actually remember either of those singers, but I do remember the song, of course. It was very, very famous. I think it was in the movie Dirty Dancing. It certainly was in that soundtrack, that's for sure. And of course, speaking of time, that takes us way back into grammar. Because, of course, one of the key differences between the present perfect and the past tense is that the present perfect doesn't do time. So I washed the car at 9 p.m. I have washed the car. I walked in the rain at 8. I have been walking in the rain. Yeah. So remember, with the present perfect, you don't use time. And that's one of the key differences between the past tense and the present perfect. So that's a good way to remember it. You can measure time in the present perfect. I've been doing this job for 10 years now, but you can't give it a start date. Okay. And remember as well, the present perfect, even if you don't mention time, has time tagged to it somehow. Okay, let's just give you some examples of that. Let's just stay with the washing thing. Oh, I washed my clothes. Okay, so you haven't given the time there, but there is a moment when you did that. Whereas I have washed my clothes is simply talking about an action that's taken place where the time isn't important, but the action is. Okay, so those are some key things in grammar. Grammar on a Sunday morning. That's a little bit dull, isn't it? It's a very dark and dull morning here and pouring with rain, which is a pity because I have to go out and get some shopping. But, completely miserable with rain today. So it's a day to curl up in front of the TV and do nothing. Last night I went to my town's Halloween celebrations. They had a big march with drummers who were glowing. It must have cost the government a lot of money to produce that. I mean, the place was very, very busy, and they had acrobats and people hanging from cranes who were doing somersaults. Very impressive, but it also looked very expensive. At the same time, the government is telling us it doesn't have a lot of money, but it is trying to keep us entertained with these kinds of events. So that's something else that's happening around the UK at the moment. the celebrations of Halloween. We never used to celebrate that. In fact, we don't really celebrate anything with street parades, but Halloween is one of those things which seems to have made a bit of a comeback, probably thanks to America. They do Halloween big time, don't they? And that's it from me for today. So, just to recap, those are some idioms using the word time. Probably the most common one that is time will tell. And if you want to listen to some songs about time in English, you have Sha with If I Could Turn Back Time. Also, that song, I've Had the Time of My Life, from the movie and production of Dirty Dancing. It's very good. Yeah, so two songs about time there as well. Remember, big difference between the past tense and the present perfect is that we use time with the past tense, but we never ever use it with the present perfect. Okay, so that's a really good thing to remember as well. Anyway, if you're enjoying the extra hour, if you've had your clocks changed, congratulations, and I'll catch up with you all again soon. See you. Bye.